everyone, I would like to share an exciting news before we start the webinar. Applications Manager has been ranked in the Magic Quadrant again in Application Performance Monitoring category. This is the 8th time Applications Manager has featured in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for APM tools. Additionally, Applications Manager along with Op Manager has collectively won the Customer's Choice for 2020 in IT Infrastructure Monitoring Tools category. All of these were possible with the positive reviews that our customers left on the Gartner Peer Insight platform for Applications Manager and Op Manager. So let's discuss about today's agenda. So the first topic would be Amazon Web Services. Here we'll be seeing the performance and metrics of the course monitored by Applications Manager. And the next topic would be about the services supported in Microsoft Azure. And the third topic will be discussing about the Oracle Cloud, Google Cloud, and Oracle Autonomous Databases, where we'll be monitoring fine-grained metrics in all of these. And coming to the last topic, we'll be seeing how to make educative decisions with resource planning and trend analysis using the reports option in Applications Manager. So since today we are going to talk about the cloud applications, let's see some of the challenges that we face in cloud computing. So as we all know, cloud computing works on public, thus all the information of the public is getting stored on the cloud. So the data stored on the cloud must have security and privacy. Just imagine, without security and privacy, how can users trust the cloud? Second is the interoperability. Application on one platform should be able to incorporate the services from the other platform. Third, computing performance. So this is one of the most important thing that today all of us see in today's generation. High network bandwidth is always needed for data intensive applications on cloud. If it is low bandwidth, it doesn't even meet any of our desired computing performance. And the last, reliability and availability. Most of the businesses are dependent upon the services provided by third party. Hence, cloud system must be reliable and robust. So let's see how monitoring of cloud applications is done in Applications Manager. So as we all know, system administrator handles many customers who uses multiple cloud applications like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud, etc. Here he doubts on how to track the performance of all of these cloud applications. For example, if anything goes wrong or if anything went, like how can you find the RCA message, like what was the cause of this problem? So here Applications Manager comes into handy. Let's see how we monitor cloud apps in Applications Manager. Applications Manager tracks the services or the cores of cloud applications. After tracking, it identifies the root cause of the problem. Once it identifies the root cause, immediately an alarm would be raised along with the root cause analysis message. This alarm would be notified to the user as a notification in the form of email, SMS, etc. And once the user gets this notification, he can take corrective actions. So this is how the monitoring is done in Applications Manager. Now let's get into the topic. First topic, that is gain insight into the operational status of key components in your AWS infrastructure. So here we'll be seeing about the 7 cores of Amazon Web Services supported in Applications Manager. And before seeing what are the parameters supported in the 7 cores for monitoring, let's have a quick overview on what are these cores about. First, Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. EC2 is a web service which aims to make life easier for developers by providing secure and resizable compute capacity in the cloud. When I say resizable, it means you can easily scale up or scale down the infrastructure based upon the demand. Next, Elastic Load Balancer. As the name suggests itself, load balancer is used to route incoming requests to multiple EC2 instances. Next is the Amazon Relational Database Service. So we know already this does the job of the DBA team, such as taking database backup, patching, etc. Simple storage service. This is used to store and retrieve any amount of data from anywhere on the web. Simple notification service. This coordinates and manages the delivery or sending of messages to endpoints or clients. Amazon DynamoDB. This database delivers single-digit millisecond performance for internet scale applications. Amazon Billing. Billing, as we all know, we can monitor our cost and pay our bill. And the main thing here is that we pay only what we use alone. Let's quickly go to the App Manager UI and see what are the parameters supported by these cores. So I'm going to the new monitor. First, let's see how we add the monitor into Applications Manager. So I'm selecting Add New Monitor, selecting Cloud Applications, which is under, I'm just selecting the Amazon, which is under Cloud Application. So this is how the Add Monitor page looks like. You can give the display name and list out the services that you wanted to monitor. For example, I wanted to monitor only EC2 and RDS. So I can just select only EC2 and RDS here. You have to enter the access key ID and the secret access key. So access key ID normally is about 20 alphanumeric characters, and the secret access key would be around 40 alphanumeric characters. Select the account type, enter the polling interval, and once these fields are entered, you can just click on to the Add Monitor button, which is in the bottom of the page. By this way, the monitor gets successfully added into the Applications Manager. So let's see what are the parameters it is getting supported from all of these cores after adding the monitor. I'm selecting Amazon, which is under Cloud Applications. So the services you mentioned there would be in different tabs listed here. So first we'll see about the EC2 instances. So you can see all the EC2 instances running, the state, the region name, in which platform it is hosted, and the monitoring, if it is disabled or enabled. And if I wanted to know more information about each and every EC2 instances, like knowing the CPU, the network, and all of those, I can just click on to the EC2 instance and know the complete information. So in the overview tab, I can see the complete information about the CPU and the network traffic. And if I wanted to know about the attached volumes, then I can just click on to the attached volumes and know the complete information about the size, the snapshot ID, and the created time, and also the volume versus the idle time, the write latency, read latency, also the read bandwidth and write bandwidth. So now let's quickly go to the ELB. So in ELB, we support the application load balancer and the network load balancer. So even here, you can see the overview information, the region, which state, if it is active or inactive, the availability zones, the VPC ID. If I wanted to know more information about the same, I can just go to the load balancer, where I'm going to get the complete information. So in the overview tab, I can see the average latency, the request made, and the connections. If it is active, new, or rejected connections, it's clearly depicted in different colors over the graphs. And also the process, the rule evaluation, and the consumed LB capacity units. And I wanted to know more information about the target groups, then I can just click on to the target groups tab, where I can get the configuration info, the healthy and the unhealthy host depicted in a bar graph. Also the performance metrics and the errors of the same. So now let's quickly go to the next one, that is the RDS instances. So RDS instance also, you get the complete information just like EC2 instances, where you can see the state where it is available or unavailable, the DB engine name, and the storage So if I want to know more information about RDS, I'll just click on to the RDS instance where I'm going to get the complete information about the database, the disk, the CPU, the storage information and all of that. Similarly, if I want to know more information about the disk, I can just click on to the disk tab where I'll get the complete information of IO throughput and IO latency. Similarly, for the network, you can see the network traffic, the incoming and the outgoing traffic, which is clearly depicted in different colors. Now let's quickly jump to the S3 buckets, where I can see the bucket name, the bucket size, the location, and the creation type. And also you will be able to compare the reports between the two buckets, 2 or 3. However you wanted, you can compare the buckets. For example, I wanted to compare the bucket size of these two buckets. Then I'll just go to compare reports and select the bucket size from the drop down. By this way, we can do the comparisons also. Let's quickly jump to the billing because this is one of the most asked requested thing almost by all of the customers. So here you can see the total expenditure and forecast, the services and the tax, the month to date top services by spend and the service, where you can see the complete cost. Even here you can compare the reports. So whichever services you wanted, you can just select and compare the reports based upon the cost. We also have customized data collection settings from App Manager UI itself. For that, we can just go to the admin tab, select performance polling, which is under discovery and data collection. Select the Amazon tab. So these are the customized settings. So first thing, alert for terminated EC2 instance. So if you enable this option, you can receive the notification when the instance is stopped. Automatically remove deleted resources. Enabling this option completely removes the terminated EC2 instances, deleted DynamoDB tables, load balancers from the Applications Manager console during the next poll. On modifying Amazon services, using this option, you can choose the action to be performed when a configured Amazon service is removed. So if I select the stop discovery on modifying Amazon services, if I select stop discovery, this stops further discovering of child monitors for the removed AWS services. And if I select delete, you can select this option if you want to delete the existing child monitors for the removed AWS services. Now let's quickly go to the next topic. Proactively monitoring applications hosted on Azure. So as told you already, we have 3 different services supported, that is the virtual machine, storage accounts and Azure SQL databases. And we have 2 modes of discovery, that is AD application and service principal. Next one is the Azure organizational account. Let's quickly go to the UI of App Manager and see how we add the Azure monitor into this and the parameters. So just like AWS, I'm selecting Azure, which is under Cloud Apps. So this is how the Add Monitor page looks like. Enter the display name, the subscription ID, the services that you wanted to monitor, which mode of discovery you prefer, the timeout and the polling interval. So once you give all of these information, you can click on to the Add Monitor button, which is in the bottom. By this way, it gets added automatically into Applications Manager. So I'm going to the Monitors tab. We have already added one Azure account. So you can see the list here, the SQL database, storage and virtual machines. So first let's go to the virtual machine. So in the overview tab, you can see the CPU, the memory metrics. So if I want to know more information about the CPU, I'm just going to the CPU tab where I get the complete information about the processor metrics. Similarly, if I want to know more information about the memory, I'll just click on to the memory tab where I'm going to get the complete information about the memory page pool, which is versus the pool non-paged, the memory false. Similarly, for the disk, the network, the threads and processes, where you can see the thread states and process states, the handles. Let's quickly go to the storage account. So in storage account, you can see the standard storage accounts and the premium storage accounts. Here you can see the complete information about the group, in which location, and the primary status, if it is available or not. So I'm just going to one of the standard storage account, where I can see the complete information about the storage services availability, the configuration, and also we have the blobs, the tables, the files and queues tab, where you can see the complete information of them. The capacity, the throughput, the latency, the request failed, in timeout, client errors, server errors, all of these information. Similarly, for the tables tab, you can just go for seeing about the throughput, the latency, just like the blobs, the throttling errors, the client errors, the timeout errors, all this information you'll be able to view it from here. Let's go to the last service of Microsoft Azure, that is Azure SQL Databases, where you can see the database name, the status, if it is online or offline, which database server it is hosted, and also the resource group name. So let's go quickly to the next topic, which is tracking of key metrics of your OCI, GCP, and Oracle autonomous environments efficiently. So, as we all know already, Oracle Cloud IaaS model owns and operates the hardware as well as the software. So IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service, this is a type of cloud service in which computing resources are hosted on cloud. So let's quickly see about some of the components in this architecture, and then we'll see about Oracle Autonomous Database, and then we'll go to the UI of App Manager. First, we'll see about the compute. So on cloud, if you're running different remote instances of computers, then it is called as compute in Oracle. Next is the storage. Storage can be categorized into block volume and object storage. Block volume is nothing but the local storage. Object storage is something like putting the files on the internet and accessing them from wherever you want it. Coming to the network, we have VCN, which is called as virtual cloud networking, where we can set up a network inside the Oracle Cloud. So let's see some of the services of Oracle Cloud supported in Applications Manager. So the services are Cloud Compute, Cloud Virtual Machine, and under Oracle Cloud Storage, we'll be seeing about the object storage and file storage. Coming to the last, we'll be seeing about the Oracle Autonomous Databases. So let's quickly see why Oracle Autonomous Databases is used. Then let's go to the UI of App Manager to see the parameters. Oracle Autonomous Databases uses machine learning and Internet of Things to perform tasks without any human intervention. This automates patching, upgrades, and tuning without human intervention or downtime. Users can instantly create new autonomous databases and easily convert existing databases, which dramatically reduces the cost. On the whole, Oracle Autonomous Databases are self-driving, self-repairing, and self-securing. Let's quickly go to the UI of App Manager. So let's see how we add the Oracle Cloud into Applications Manager. You can give the display name, enter the services that you wanted to monitor, the subscribe region, tenancy OCID, user OCID, PEM file path, and the fingerprint. And also you can go, you have this advanced settings. So I'll just explain about all of these options. Delete terminated resources from applications manager. So enabling this option, if a resource is terminated in your Oracle Cloud and you wanted that resource to be deleted from applications manager also, you can click onto this option. Next, continue alerts for terminated resources. So if you wanted an alert, even if the resource is terminated, then you can go with this option. Next, stop alerts for terminated resources. So there are some users who do not want alerts if a resource is terminated because they know it is already terminated. So they can go with this option. And the last option is unmanaging the terminated resources. So if you do not want alerts, you do not want it to be removed also, you can go with the unmanaged terminated resources. Once you enter all these fields, enter the polling interval and click on to the add monitor button, which is in the bottom of the page. By this way, the monitor gets added successfully into applications manager. And let's see what are the parameters that the Oracle Cloud supports. So the services we have listed in the add monitor page gets shown here. In the overview tab, you can see the tenancy details, the instance storage, and the database details. So if I wanted to go know about the compute, I can just click on to the compute tab where I'll get the complete information in which status it is, if it is running or if it is stopped, the compartment name, the public IP address, and which platform it is hosted, and the region. And I'm just going to one of the instance to see more information about the boot and block volumes and all of that. So this is the performance tab where you can see the CPU and memory utilization, disk read IO, and the disk write IOPS. So for boot volume, I'll just go to the boot volume tab where I can see the read and the write throughput, the read operation and write operations. Similarly for the block volumes, and if you want to know more about the network, you can see in the network information where you can see the VNIC name, public IP address, primary, all those information. So let's quickly go to the next service of Oracle Cloud, that is the storage. So when you go to the storage, I can see the information about the bucket name, the compartment name, in which region, the objects and the bucket size, also the file system. If you wanted, just like the AWS and Azure I've told you, you can compare the reports for whichever parameter you wanted, and also for the mount targets. We'll quickly jump to the database tab where you can see the DB name, which life cycle, the compartment name, region, the name of the database. And if I wanted to know more information about the database, like the top queries that is executed, the slow running block queries and all of that, you can see it from here. So here, if you see, you can see the session details, statement, the logons, transactions made. So I'm going to the table space tab where I can see the complete information of the used free bytes, the allocated block bytes. And then also the table space status, the performance of data files. I'm going to the process details where I can see the Oracle process using Max PGA and the Oracle process information. Now let's quickly go to the next topic. Google Cloud Platform in Applications Manager. So we all know Google Cloud is Google's inbuilt cloud platform that provides a series of cloud services, including computing, data storage, data analytics, and machine learning. Applications Manager Google Cloud Platform Monitoring will give us complete visibility into the compute and storage components, which allow us to optimize the performance of business critical Google Cloud services. So under compute, we'll be seeing about the compute engine, and under storage, cloud file store and cloud storage. So let's see what are the parameters supported by Applications Manager for Google Cloud Monitoring. And before seeing that, let's see how we add the monitor first. What are the fields that has to be filled for adding the Google Cloud into Applications Manager? So just like the AWS, Azure, just like that, I'm just going to select Google Cloud. It's under Cloud Apps. You have to enter the GCP services, the project ID, OAuth provider. Same, just like the Oracle Cloud, you have the similar options in Google Cloud also, whereas you can continue, stop, unmanage, or delete a resource. Click on to the test credential. Once it is passed, you can click on to the Add Monitor button, which is in the bottom. By this way, the Google Cloud gets successfully added into Applications Manager. Going to monitors, selecting one of the Google Cloud platform, which is under Cloud Applications. So in the overview tab, I can see the quotas, the usage, the limit used, and the available. And if I wanted to know about the compute, I'm just selecting to the compute tab, where I can see the instance ID, the status, the zone, the external IP, and the platform where it is hosted. I'm just going to the compute engine to check what are the information present on it. So I can see the CPU memory utilization, the memory usage depicted in pie chart. And also if I go to the network, I can see the network traffic, the firewall. Similarly, I'm going to the disk tab, where I can see the disk utilization by disk reads, disk writes, read operation per second, write operation per second, and also the disk performance and disk throttling. Let's quickly go to the next service, that is the storage. So here, as I've told you already, you have the cloud storage and cloud file store, where you get the overview information in this tab. I want to know more information about the cloud storage. I'm just going to the cloud storage, where I can see the more information about the number of objects, the bucket size, the request, network traffic. And if I want to know about request, I'm going to the request tab, where I can see the read request, then the write request. Similarly, objects and the network. Let's quickly go to the presentation again to see about the next topic. So this is one of the hot topic, that is Kubernetes and Docker. We all know that this is one of the trending word in today's generation, today's world. So let's quickly see what is Kubernetes and Docker, and then we'll go with the last topic. Docker. As we all know, Docker is an open source which helps users to separate applications from infrastructure, which means infrastructure as a managed application. Docker uses Docker engine to create containers, and to create these containers, Docker technology is used. So what is a container? Container holds everything which is needed by applications to run. In Applications Manager, we use APIs to collect the information of CPU, memory, and network. Kubernetes. This is a cluster of computers that are connected to work as a single unit. In simple words, Kubernetes cluster is a set of physical or virtual machine. Here, the mission which is given master role acts as a brain for all missions. Let's say the type of services in Kubernetes. Master. One who manages cluster, handles all activities happening in a cluster, such as scheduling application, maintaining desired state, etc. Node. Node is a VM or physical computer that acts as a worker machine. Pods. Pod is a host which runs one or more containers. This container within a pod shares unique IP address. And when you ask how is the communication made between the master and the node, it happens through via API. Node contains tools such as Kubelet to handle containers and to manage the nodes. Services. Services provides a consistent IP address to a set of pods. Also, it provides a policy that controls access to them. And using SSH, Applications Manager makes connection with Kubernetes, and using kubectl collect, we collect information. So before adding any monitor into Applications Manager, either Kubernetes or Docker, as a part of a prerequisite, kubectl must be installed in the machine where Kubernetes is running. Now we are coming to the final topic about the reports. So making educative decisions with resource planning and trend analysis reports. So forecast report. Here we'll be able to predict the future based upon the current utilization and balance hardware cost and computing needs. Let's take an example here. There is a user and he sees today my my disk utilization is 60%. What will be my disk utilization 6 months after or after 1 year? Here forecast reports comes into handy. And we also have a special feature in forecast reports, whereas we can schedule the forecast report for future date and get notified via email regarding the same. We have two types of forecast report, that is forecast by growth and forecast by utilization. So forecast by growth trend. So here we use machine learning to generate this type of report, and based upon the current utilization statistics, it predicts a growth in utilization in the future based upon the present. Forecast by utilization. Similar to the growth trend, forecast by utilization generates reports based upon current utilization, but also notifies when utilization level reaches extremely high, like 80, 90, or even 100%, allowing users to take appropriate actions. This report is generated for attributes in the percentage scale. Let's quickly go to the App Manager UI and see how can we get this forecast report. So I'm just clicking on to the Reports tab, selecting Forecast Report. And I'm going to generate the forecast report for all my disk utilization of servers. So this is how it looks like. So we have this machine learning enabled here, and the forecast by growth, also the forecast by utilization. If I wanted to know for 6 months, I'll just click on to the 6 months so that I can see after 6 months what would be my utilization. And as I've told you already, you can also schedule the reports based upon the same. Let's go back to the presentation and see about the trend analysis report. So why trend analysis report? So here we have, there's a user and he has various questions like how can he understand the various bottlenecks for a particular period of time, or how can he find the last month's report? How will he organize and allocate the resource to a server? Can he compare the similar type of servers? For all of these questions, we have came for a solution called as trend analysis report in Applications Manager. So we'll see the different types of the same. Hour of day report. So this generates hours average for a particular week or a month or a year for a particular attribute. This report also helps you to visualize various bottlenecks that appear for the attribute during a particular period of time. Day of week. This generates average of a day for a particular week for a particular attribute. This will help us to troubleshoot the performance issue quickly. Statistical report. This represents the standard deviation of this attribute over a period of time. This data can be used to reallocate or organize resources for the server accordingly. Heat chart. In this type of report, you can compare and check the performance for similar type of monitors. Let's go to the UI of App Manager and see how we generate the trend analysis report. So I'm just selecting onto trend analysis report. Once after selecting here, I'm selecting one of the monitor. So this is how the trend analysis report looks like. So here we have the history report. In history report, you can see each and every poll for a particular day, each and every pole, what is the minimum and the maximum value. Hour of day report, where I can see in each and every hour in a particular day, what was the minimum and the maximum value. Day of week, where we can see for each and every day, what was the report. Similarly, the statistical report and the heat chart. So we are coming to the end of this session. So let's discuss about some of the features, the upcoming features that is going to be released in 2020. So on Q2, we are going to release under AWS, we are going to release the AWS Lambda, Simple Queue service and Kubernetes service. And under GCP, the Google Kubernetes service. Under Azure, Azure Kubernetes service and Azure Service Bus. Upcoming features in Q3 under AWS, VPC VPN, CloudFront, support for Cloud US. Under GCP, Google Cloud Function, and under Azure, Azure Function and Azure Load Balancer. And in Q4, we are going to see support for Alibaba Cloud, one of the most requested feature. Under AWS, Beanstalk, Elastic Cache, and under Azure, Virtual Networks and Express Route. So these are upcoming features in Q2, Q3, and Q4. So thank you each one of you for being with me during this course of webinar. If you have any queries or if you wanted a demo on our product, please drop an email to eval-apm@manageengine.com. Stay safe all of you, and thank you once again. Bye-bye.